Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Hello again, everyone.
And this week, we are taking a look at the Southeastern Bigfoot, which are the Skunk Ape, the Honey Island Swamp Monster, and the Boggy Creek Monster. And we'll start off with the Skunk Ape, which is also called the Florida Bigfoot or the Swamp Ape. And it's a cousin of Bigfoot that typically lives in forests and swamps, have like what we said, the southeastern United States, but particularly in Florida. And it's about 5 to 7 feet tall, reddish brown hair, and it's smaller than the normal Bigfoot of the north, which is usually a minimum of 7 feet tall, and it's named after its foul odor, which is similar to a skunk. And you'll notice that the foul odor is going to be running occurrence between all three of these Bigfoot.
That's what I noticed whenever I was reading through these PowerPoints. Like, almost all of these have, like, the foul odor or some sort of bad odor to them. But, I mean, if we're like, going around the swamp all the time, I can kind of understand why it'd be stinky.
Yeah, and in the upper right, we've got what's probably the most famous picture of an alleged skunk ape, which to me just looks like an orangutan.
Yeah, I kind of think it does too. But it's still kind of creepy picture, just like it behind the, like, grass or whatever they are, leaves.
Yeah. And now the Honey Island Swamp Monster, which is also called the Cajun Sasquatch, the Louisiana Wookiee, which I think is our first Star Wars reference, and the Thing, which I know for sure is our first Fantastic Four reference, and it's about 7 feet tall, gray hair, yellow or red eyes, and the recurring putrid smell associated with it. And the and it inhabits the Honey Island Swamp in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. And alleged plaster shows 4 toes instead of the typical 5 that humans and primates had, with it, with the foot still being primate-like everywhere else except the toe discrepancy. And the first sighting was reported by Harlan Ford in 1963 in Louisiana. And in 1974, Harlan and his friend Billy Mills claimed to have seen unusual footprints and, and a wild boar with its throat slashed. And local lore tells of a train crash that occurred near the swamp in which a traveling circus lost chimpanzees who adapted to the environment. And this is not seen as credible to exist. So sadly, the Honey Island Swamp Monster probably isn't real.
Shocker, shocker. Uh,
But
what?
but the 1974 story is true if what slashed the wild boar's throat?
I don't know. I don't know. So we do have another southeastern like Bigfoot-like creature, which is the Boggy Creek Monster, and it's also called the Fuyok Monster, or is that how you pronounce it? Or
Foster.
oh, okay, or the Swamp Stalker. And it's like we said, another cousin of Bigfoot, kind of like the others we were talking about. This one has long dark hair. It's 7 feet tall and thought to it could reach 10 foot tall. And it's about 250 to 300 pounds. Through though the 10 foot tall ones could weigh up to 800 pounds. So these are like a bulkier Bigfoot or bigger. And it's thought to run swiftly with a gallop gait and swinging its arms similarly to that of a monkey. And the bright red eyes, the size of silver dollars. There was also one set of footprints that measured 17 inches long and 7 inches wide. And another footprint showed a three-toed foot. So that's kind of like the last one where they had a 4 foot. Well, a four-toed. This is a three-toed foot. So still very weird. And the first sighting was in the early 1970s, but it could be dated back to the 1850s in the rural town of that Arkansas. And again, kind of like the other ones, there is a terrible odor, which is a combination of a skunk and then also a wet dog.
No, wet dog and skunk are bad enough by themselves.
Yeah.
No need for it to be combining those two smells together.
Mm.
No need.
And then we have some popular media here, some like movies or TV shows that have mentioned our creatures here. So, first, I was going to go over the Boggy Creek Monster because there are so many movies from it. I was looking on Wikipedia to see like, oh, what have it been in? What kind of movies have been made? And there are 6 movies about the Boggy Creek Monster. And it goes from the 1972, the first movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, and then there is a movie in 2016 which is just called The Boggy Creek Monster. Now, I can't say how good they are because I have not watched any of them, but they are movies that are about the Boggy Creek Monster if you want to learn more about it or see more about it. Then there's the Honey Island Swamp Monster, and there are not movies made about it, but there are TV shows that were like have mentioned it or whatnot. So the first being Secret Saturdays episode Ghost in the Machine, which Secret Saturdays is just all about cryptids and whatnot. There's an episode in the Lost Tapes called The Swamp Creature that mentions the Boggy Creek Monster. Well, no, the Honey Island Swamp, sorry. And then there's a segment in Monsters and Mysteries in America, The Swamp, which talks about the Honey Island Swamp Monster. I could not.
Again, again, if you haven't watched Lost Tapes, you should. It's hell. It's hilariously bad that it's good.
I could not
But,
find anything on the Skunk Ape though. I could not find anything that like any TV shows or movies that have mentioned it. So,
but like the entirety of Lost Tapes is like so funnily bad that it's somehow good. And similar to our first ever episode, which was about Bigfoot, I believe that the actual reports of the sightings are at least partially true, since I believe that, still believe that they're seeing something Bigfoot like, but not necessarily Bigfoot itself. as I sit here with two little Bigfoot wooden things on my desk.
Do you have little like statues or figurines of Bigfoot or what?
Yeah, they're like wooden carvings.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Where do you end up getting them at?
Think Fanatics because they've got like Alabama, the University of Alabama hats on.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I haven't changed that much of my belief of Bigfoot. I haven't seen anything to really push me to believe in Bigfoot. I've never had any encounters, and most of the TV shows and stuff like that I've seen are not the most credible. So I don't really believe Bigfoot exists. But I do like all the stories and folklore, and I do like kind of making fun of, kind of like we were talking about the lost tapes there, how it's just kind of funny. I like watching people do stuff like that, and I think it's just kind of funny. So even though I don't believe in the creature and I think it's made up, there's pretty cool stories and folklore behind it. And most likely, they are just misidentifications of already known animals, kind of like we were talking about, I think, in our first episode, where it could be like a black bear with mange, or possibly the train crash could have got chimpanzees out that have adapted, possibly. Or kind of like the skunk ape, just looks like an orangutan. So, I mean, there are plenty of other animals that could possibly look like the Bigfoot things that we've seen.
But out of everything we've covered so far, I think Bigfoot is probably the most likely to exist or have existed.
I mean, that's fair. Plus, there's tons of Bigfoot sightings all over the world. Like, we haven't even talked about the Yeti, and Yeti is pretty much a Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah, it's like just another cousin of Bigfoot.
Yeah, but they're all over the world, so it's kind of weird that everyone has some sort of Bigfoot adjacent creature.
Yeah, this isn't our first episode on Bigfoot, and I doubt that it'll be our last episode on Bigfoot. So there's that. Be prepared for more Bigfoot episodes in the future. But next week we are going to Dover, Massachusetts, to cover the Dover Demon. Any last words, Ethan?
Nope, just thanks for watching, everyone.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Drop us a follow. Follow if you're on Spotify. A reminder that I do another podcast called the Redbird's Nest, which covers St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, bye, everyone.